All right. Having said that, I understand that some people may not, but still give it a try. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I want you to get one of these old-fashioned things, one of these prehistoric things. These prehistoric things are called notebooks. Yes, I'm sure you remember about 100 years ago when we had notebooks. Yes, and a pen. Yes, I know that some of you may not even have a pen in the house. You know, why have a pen when you can have an iPad? But still, yes, pens. 200 years ago, we used to use them. We still use them today. Pens are miraculous tools. Pads are miraculous tools. There's a whole learning theory behind why we still need to write, despite the fact that technology has advanced so much that we don't know who we're talking to. Many times I'm wondering, who am I talking to? But feel free to note that the pad and the pen will truly help you. All right. So first of all, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a great person and a great presence here. Now, speech evaluations. I don't know if you know me, but I'm pretty clear-cut and to the point. People who know me know how I deliver my educational workshops. Okay. I'm now coming to you live from Greece. I used to live in the United Arab Emirates for many years, as Robert and Jerry can testify to this. But now I'm living in Greece on a small island on the southern Aegean. If you ever want to look me up, that's where you'll find me. If you ever want to take a vacation, that's where you will find me. If you're ever looking for good beaches and hiking, that's where you will find me. So I live on a small island, and today I'm going to deliver a workshop on speech evaluation, techniques, and skills. Now, why speech evaluations? Well, let me be brief, because speech evaluations is the breakfast of champions. I repeat, because speech evaluations are the breakfast of champions. If you truly want to feed your mind on a breakfast-like meal that is a championship-like meal, then speech evaluations is the way to go. It's as simple as that. So without further ado, let's move to the presentation and keep notes of things. Keep notes of things, and I will call upon you. This is going to be a very fluid workshop, very fluid. We will honor the word workshop, actually 2 words. We will honor 2 words, workshop and quality, hopefully. You will judge. All right, hold on a second. Have I got administrative rights here to share? I guess I do. All right, great. Madam Toastmaster President took care of that. Hold on a second. 1 second. All right. Can you see my screen? Right? I think everyone can see my screen. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. So the philosophy behind speech evaluations and the philosophy behind most of the things in life is summed up with this phrase: you will always miss what you are not trained to see. I repeat, you will always miss what you are not trained to see. An excerpt that comes from my recent publication, the Speech Evaluation Handbook, that opens up with the statement, you will always miss what you are not trained to see. So, the Speech Evaluation Workbook, or workshop rather, how to go from good to great. So, let's get going. The first question I have for you, right from the beginning, I'm going to hit you with questions. I said this to the president. I'm going to have the participants on their toes. There will be no snoozing, no sleeping. Otherwise, you'll get a red card and you won't be able to play again. All right. Why are good speech evaluations difficult? Can someone kindly answer that question, please? Go ahead, my friend Toastmaster Jerry. Please, Jerry, happy to see you, happy to hear from you. Why are good speech evaluations difficult, Toastmaster Jerry?
For me, in my opinion, I think because you don't know what is the objective is, that's why it's difficult for you to do the evaluation.
Okay, what do you mean you don't know the objective, Jerry?
Means you don't know what is the goal or what is the in every speech we have these evaluations,
right?
or that if you, as a evaluator, if you don't know what you're going to evaluate or what are
Right.
you looking for in a speech, so it's difficult for you to evaluate.
Okay, so essentially, if I understood what you're saying, is that it's difficult to know what to look at because there's maybe so many things to look at. You don't know what you're going to look at to be able to know what you're doing. Am I right on that?
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
All right, very good. Thank you, Toastmaster Jerry. Okay, Madam Toastmaster Priti.
So basically, like when you talk about good speeches, the main things that come in is voice modulation, eye contact, hand movements, gestures, your expressions, and everything. So basically, good speeches, if they contain all of these things which I just said, it is extremely hard to evaluate because you can't find the cons in this speech. You're most likely saying all the pros, and you can't even say what they could have avoided because everything is perfect in their speech.
Okay, so I think in a way you're echoing some of what Jerry said. That although you've pinpointed it, you've said like gestures and voice modulation, but there's so much there, it's hard to figure out which to choose and what to look at. Okay.
Let me just add on. I have a question. Is there a benchmark for a good speech assist?
Well, that's a good question, but we're not answering your questions. We're answering my questions right now. So, but it's a good question. Save the question. Put it. Go ahead.
No, is there a benchmark for a good speech?
Yeah, and my question, my answer is I'm not going to answer your question. I want you to answer my question.
So
All right.
may I answer your question? Try to answer.
Whose question? My question?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Toastmaster, Toastmaster who spoke before, I will answer the question, but give us time.
No, actually, I did not complete. What I was trying to say, unless we know what is a benchmark, we cannot evaluate. That's the reason why it is difficult to evaluate.
Okay, good. I like that. Yeah, that's not a question. That's an answer to my question. I like that. So if we don't have a benchmark and understanding what we're looking for, what we're doing, it's hard to evaluate. I accept that. I think that's very true. Thank you. All right, Toastmaster Mashood.
Yes, I think for us as an evaluator to be a good listener and then to concise and consolidate the understanding with sandwich kind of the feedback. So that's the basically challenge, that we are not able to listen very carefully, digest, and then reproduce in a way to evaluate with the pros and cons of the speech.
Right. Toastmaster Mashood, yes. Although I'm not totally in agreement with you about the sandwich approach. The sandwich approach has a lot of drawbacks, which I present another workshop on why you should not use the sandwich approach. Although it's an easy approach, it's a simplified approach that is good for people who are just starting off. I agree with that. But if you're going to a much more advanced stage, I would suggest it does not really serve your purpose to give a good speech evaluation. So that's my answer. I think that you're right. You need to know what you're looking at, and you need to know how you're going to present what you're looking at. But the sandwich approach may not really be the best tool to use when you're more advanced. All right, very good. Okay, thank you. All right. Toastmaster Samra, Toastmaster Rutvij.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Actually, for me, I think the why a good speech evaluation difficult. Sometimes I experience a difficult speaker, and for me, difficult to make a constructive feedback to a speech. I don't feel it's really a good speech, and the language itself. If I don't have good language in style, delivering style, language used by the contestant, then it will affect my evaluation, the speaker and my language and my delivery style.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a good point, Madam Toastmaster Samra. Actually, let me share with you a little bit of a secret, a technique. Good speeches are easy to evaluate. Bad speeches are difficult to evaluate. In other words, I want you to make a note of that. If a speech is well put together, you'll find you can evaluate it easier than a speech that is badly put together, to answer in a way indirectly your comment. I don't know if I'm clear, Madam Toastmaster Samra.
Yeah, actually, a bad speech. Yes, I agree totally with you. Difficult to with a good. It's not inspiring. I cannot say, "Wow, it's a wonderful speech." Then becoming a challenge for me to turn it out to be a wow speech.
Yeah. Well, we're going to look at, with this model that I'm going to share with you, you will be able to evaluate any speech. I mean, any speech, and you will be able to deliver a meaningful evaluation that will help the speaker move from this level to that level. All right. Toastmaster Rudvig.
I think good speech evaluations are difficult because as well there is always the fear of bias. Yes, and also it can be very hard to pinpoint and specific points of a speech each that might be correct or might not be correct, or any mistakes that the speaker might have made.
Okay, yeah. So bias is something that we need to be aware of, but with this framework, I think you might be able to limit or minimize the bias. And with a framework, you are actually looking at the speech through the glasses, through the spectacles of a framework, rather than through your own human bias. So the framework saves you from what you said, the bias. The framework is used as a tool, as a map that you can use to navigate through the speech and decide what you're going to look at. So yeah, human bias is an issue. Okay, great. Anybody else before we go to question number 2? All right, let's move on to question number 2. Good responses here. Let's go to question number 2. Question B asks, what makes for a good speech evaluation? We just answered the question, or we tried to answer the question, why a good speech evaluation is difficult, and I had some interesting responses. But what makes for a good speech evaluation? We've explained why they are difficult, but what makes for a good speech evaluation? If somebody said, "Oh, you know, Toastmaster Masood, congratulations, you really gave a great speech evaluation." What makes for a good speech evaluation? If there is some kind of, hidden rule or formula, what is it? Or what are they? Please, Samra, your hand is up.
If you can make the speaker feel good about himself by giving a constructive feedback, and the voice should be encouraging, motivating, and with a punchline, then we'll be feeling good. Basically, if you feel good about my evaluation, then it's a good speech evaluation.
Madam Toastmaster Samra, that is entirely wrong. Speech evaluations have nothing to do with making the speaker feel good. I would like you kindly to remove that from your understanding of good speech evaluations. I would say, in fact, that you need to make someone feel a little pain when you want to be a good speech evaluator, because one of the problems is you are whitewashing the reality just to make the speaker feel good. So please note the following. Cancel out, make the speaker feel good. You need to make the speaker understand. Feel and understand, understand and feel, and not feel good. It's not about feeling good. That is a misnomer. That is a wrong understanding that has been multiplied through Toastmaster meetings, where you feel you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. Feelings have nothing to do with a good speech evaluation. Feelings are a different area. A good speech evaluation is a good speech evaluation. It has nothing to do so much with feelings, and it has nothing to do with someone feeling good. It's about giving value. Today, the theme that I think the president opened up was value. How do you bring value to the relationship? How do you bring value to a speech evaluation? It's not about making them feel good. All right, great. Robert, my dear friend Robert, DTM Robert. I always remember you in the contest in Abu Dhabi and all over the UAE. Go ahead, sir. Happy to hear from you and see you.
Good evening, Toastmaster Peter. Nice to see you also. And the other Toastmasters. What I feel is like if you are able to identify one point, at least 1 or 2 points, which can help the speaker improve, no matter where the best of speaker. But if you're able to identify during the 7 minutes of speech, one particular point which can benefit the member, which he has overlooked, can be of a great help. That is will like a great achievement for both of them.
Exactly. That's a good, very good point. And that's why I said that the sandwich approach is not perhaps the best approach for advanced speech evaluations. Like Toastmaster Robert said, can you find something that you can offer and enrich and assist the speaker and draw the attention of the speaker to that area that will help the speaker develop the speech or focus on this area maybe in the next speech? That is the beginning of a good speech evaluation. It's not about making the speaker feel good. It's about bringing value into the speaker's speaking life. Very good. Good point. Thank you, Robert. Last answer on this question. We move to the third and final question. Yes, Rutvij.
I think what makes for a good speech evaluation is a proper understanding of the speech, what the speech each is trying to do, like what whether it's trying to convey a message or convince you about a certain thing, or a basic proper understanding of the speech that is being presented forward.
Right. Understanding the speech is important, although you don't have time to understand the complete speech. So I think what Toastmaster Robert said about, singling out something maybe would help because you don't have much time to say too much. In Toastmasters, you have 3.5 minutes. If you were doing a mentoring session with me, you would have, 1 hour where I would give you feedback on your speech, what you need to improve this area, that area. But even so, even when you do a 1 hour mentoring session with someone, you can't focus on everything because the person will get overwhelmed. It's just too much to take in. Listening to someone saying, oh, you need to pay attention to this and you overlooked this and this was not delivered the way it should have been delivered. The person's going to be writing everything down. He's going to say, now, where do I begin? Because the person has to rehearse all this and the person has to remember all this and the person has to deliver all this and it has to look normal and it has to look casual and it has to look as a public speaking area that the speaker has already owned. That's not that easy. All right. Okay, let's go to the third question. What makes for a bad speech evaluation? Yes. What makes for a bad speech evaluation?
Which you have answered already.
Well, go ahead, Toastmaster Mashud. Please remind me what I said. I forgot already.
Because you told us earlier that there should be no sandwich approach and we should be very...
Hold on. I said it's okay to use the sandwich approach for beginner speakers, but it's not recommended that it's used for more advanced speakers. That's what I said.
Yes. And Yani, if we are not helping the speaker to identify the area of improvement, and then it is not right approach, because the purpose of evaluation is to help him what is the strength and where he needs the review of his areas like body language, voice tone, speech sequence, sequence of the thoughts, and this kind of things.
Yeah, but somebody already said one of the elements of a bad speech evaluation. What was one of the elements of a bad speech evaluation that somebody already mentioned?
Congratulations.
Making the speaker feel good. Making the speaker feel good, I think. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Can you say beating around the bush? Going around the bush, like
but making the speaker feel good is not part of a good speech evaluation. I would say it's also maybe part of a bad speech evaluation. What else goes into a bad speech evaluation? I hope you're writing these things down. You're not going to get this in any other workshop, only in this workshop in Ain Toastmasters. Dipti was begging me for 3 months. He says, DT and Peter, we need to have you. And only because I really like her, I said, I will make a promise. I'm hard to catch. So my point is this. What else goes into a bad speech evaluation? We said whitewashing, making the speaker feel good. What else goes into a bad speech evaluation?
Can I add in that?
Following.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I add, like, some of the inexperienced speaker, they focus on the evaluating a speaker rather than the speech itself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with you. Yeah, that they focus on the speaker too much and not on the speech itself.
Yeah, and
That's-
too much complimenting a speech.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. Definitely. Okay, anybody else?
But
All right.
yeah, we
Yes.
should also give
Actually, I feel that if it is going to demoralize a speaker, the presenter, then it is not a good evaluation also.
Yeah,
Like
that's
we should
true.
not criticize, we should improve him, but
Yeah.
the way we evaluate it should not be to demoralize the presenter.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. Yeah, you don't want to be. There's a difference between being hard and critical on someone, and there's a difference between just making them feel good. It's two different things. There's a difference between being hard and critical, which is not recommended. It's not acceptable, and there's a difference to go to the other spectrum, the other area, and making them just feel good. So yeah, okay, all right. Now let's move ahead. Here we go. So I hope the speech evaluators mantra. Have you heard of the speech evaluators mantra?
no.
No, well, you'll find out tonight with me, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to get to know knowledge that you have not come across before. So the speech evaluators mantra is what I heard, what I heard. And there are three parts to the speech evaluators mantra: what I heard, what I saw, and what I felt. And that's because we experience speeches with our ears, our eyes, and our heart. I repeat, if you want to kind of break it down into three important chunks, three areas, three realms, speech evaluation is three things: what I heard, what I saw, and what I felt. That's very important to note, because now we're going to break it down in more. But before we break it down even more, I will now tell you my mantra. This is the speech evaluators mantra, but now you're going to get DTM Peter's mantra, which comes out of my book, The Speech Evaluation Handbook, right? What I heard needs to turn into what I wanted to hear. That is the true speech evaluation mantra. Not what I heard, what I wanted to hear. And what I saw should turn into, feel free to call out.
What I wanted to see.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Pretty. You get an iPhone 13 from our president tonight. All right, what I wanted to see and what I felt turns into?
What I feel.
Who said that?
Rajendra.
Rajasendra, you get 2,000 dirhams worth of food shopping from Lulu from our president tonight. Right, what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to feel. So now you are rewriting the speech evaluators mantra with my mantra, and this mantra is going to be the tool that you have in the back of your mind when you listen to any speech. What I heard is what the speaker delivered. What I wanted to hear is what the speech evaluator is going to talk about. What I saw is what the speaker delivered. What I wanted to see is what the speech evaluator wants to tell the speaker. What I felt is what the speaker delivered in terms of emotions. What I wanted to feel is what your evaluation is going to cover. Is this clear? All right, make a note of these things. You're not going to get these things in any textbook, in any workshop, except here with Ain Toastmasters and yours truly. All right, so let's continue. So the 3E mantra, just to recap, has to do with eyes, emotions, and ears. What I saw, what I heard, what I felt. Everybody with your hands, let's do it together. What I saw, everybody, what I saw, say with me, muted. What I saw, what I heard, what I felt. What I saw, what I heard, what I felt. What I saw, what I heard, what I felt. That's the mantra. But you're going to say what I wanted to see, what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to feel. Let's do it together, please. What I wanted to see, what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to feel. One more time, please. What I wanted to see, what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to feel. If you have that in the back of your mind, you will be able to direct yourself more specifically to give a constructive speech evaluation to the speaker. Now, let's move ahead. This comes out of the Speech Evaluation Handbook, page 10, by the way. All right, so the three most important questions. Now I've given you the mantra. We've redefined the mantra. What are the three most important questions that you need to know in any speech evaluation? Can anyone tell me one of the questions? If you find the question, yes.
Yeah.
Did I hear what I wanted to hear?
What I wanted.
Okay, so the three most important questions. Let me turn on the fan here because I'm heating up. When I teach, I heat up. I'm revving my engine. All right, so what are the three most important questions? Anybody know for a speech evaluation?
What is the purpose of the speech?
Why? How?
No, I'm sorry. All right, the first question is, it's a what question? Anyone know the questions beginning with a what?
What did the speaker want to say?
What was the
Exact
content of
message.
this?
Okay, so the first thing the evaluator, I'm sorry.
Objective of the speech.
Yes.
What was the content of the presentation?
So as a speech evaluator, your first question that I would like you to note down that you will be working with is what? What means, what exactly are you focusing on? Now, this question is for you as a speech evaluator. In other words, you need to define, you need to single out. Some of you already said it, I don't know what to focus on. There are so many things to focus on. It's confusing, it's difficult, it's complex. So my question to you as a speech evaluator is question what? Question what means, what exactly are you focusing on? Name it. I repeat, name it, right? What are you focusing on? Voice modulation. What are you focusing on? Gestures. Name it. Can you name it? If you can't name it, you're not a good evaluator. It's as simple as that. You're all over the place. You're all over the map. So that's the first question. It's a what question. Three important questions. Second question. The second question is a why question. Can anyone complete the question? Anyone? It follows from the what.
Why am I focusing on it?
On this?
Yes. Who said that? Who said that? Why are you who said that?
Me and Ritvij.
All right. Both of you get a free session with me at some point in time in the future with your speeches. Why are you focusing on this aspect? Why? Why are you focusing, Mr. Evaluator or Miss Evaluator, on this aspect? So what are you focusing on? And why are you focusing on this aspect? So here we go with the third and final question. Let's see. Who could guess what the third and final question is?
How?
How?
All right. This is a good group. And what's the question, the complete question?
How I'm going to evaluate or speak about the evaluation?
Yeah, close. I would have liked it to have been a little bit closer, but it's close.
Help
How
me,
can I
guys.
focus on this aspect?
Yes.
How will you deliver this?
Madam Toastmaster President, I want an iPhone 13 sent out to everyone who answered these questions correctly, please. Otherwise, you will never see me again in your life. All right. Okay. How can it be done? How can it be done? Exemplify it. Exemplify it. So there are three important questions that the speech evaluator must have in the back of his mind when he or she decides to pick out something. When they pick out something, the questions have to be what? Mr. and Mrs. Evaluator, what exactly are you focusing on? Can you name it? And then, why are you focusing on this aspect? Can you explain it? And then, how can it be done? Can you exemplify it? Three powerful questions that you can put in your tool bag as you move ahead to become a speech evaluator. All right, clear up to this point. Any questions? Please don't talk in the background. Okay, all right. Clear up to this point. Any questions up to this point? All right, practical and to the point. All right, let's move ahead. Now, I'm going to show you the framework with these 3 questions and with the speech evaluator's mantra. You will now go into the framework, the secret tunnel, the secret formula as to how you can unlock any speech, good, bad, and make it clear to the speaker what they can do, why they can do this, and how they can improve it. And I want to ask you something. What do you see? Where am I? What do you see here? What's this?
It's a glove.
It's a glove. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Pretty. It's a glove. And I am going to present to you my framework called the glove approach. Write it down. How do you spell glove?
Glove.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Pretty. I already like you as a student. All right, Glove. 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 Write it down. Okay, question. What does G stand for?
Gesture.
I'm sorry?
Gesture.
Gestures. That's another iPhone 13 going out to you by Christmas. All right, the glove approach. G stands for gestures. What's the second letter?
Language.
Language. Oh my goodness, you're going to bankrupt Ain Toastmasters. All right, what's the third letter?
Organizing.
Oh my goodness, Madam Toastmaster Dipti, you will regret the night you invited me here today. All right, and V?
Voice modulation.
All right, and the last one?
Vocalization.
Eye contact. Eye contact.
No, Madam Toastmaster Pretty, -1, you have to give the phone back.
Execution.
I'm sorry? What's that?
Energy.
Energy.
No.
Expression.
No.
Emotion.
Yes, who said emotion? Who said emotion? Oh, Jerry. All right. You get the gold phone, Jerry. You get the gold phone. All right. Emotions. So this is the key to unlocking any great speech evaluation. No speech can escape this model. So, question, write these down, the words, each letter, gestures. When we talk about gestures, what are we talking about in speech evaluations when we refer to gestures?
The hand movements.
Body language.
Right. Right. Exactly. Right. It can be hand gestures. It can be facial gestures. It can be body language. It can be the way you're moving on stage, the way you're standing on stage, the way you're turning on stage. All these things make up gestures. Are you familiar with gestures when we talk about speeches and speech evaluations? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Now, language. What is language when it comes to speech evaluations?
The way you speak, the
What does that
vocabulary
mean?
you
What
use.
does it mean, the way you speak?
Vocabulary.
All right. It could be vocabulary. Right.
What
else?
I feel it's, are we able to communicate what we want to communicate?
Yeah, but when it comes to language, how do you define it in terms of language?
can be grammar.
Simple language,
Yeah,
which everyone can understand.
Right. It could be word choice. It could be easy words, difficult words. It could be grammar. It could be the kinds of language you use. Maybe the language was insulting. Maybe the language was it was inaccurate. Maybe it was inaccurate language. Maybe you could have used better words. Maybe you could have used a better structure in the way you put together the sentence, so it wasn't that clear. In fact, it was unclear. That all goes into language. All right. Now, is that clear up to this point, gestures and language?
Excuse me, sir. I just have a question. And can language be based on like the audience that is like in front of you? Like
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, language can, but it depends on what you're talking about. If are you talking about a TEDx speaker? Are you talking about Toastmasters meeting? Are you talking about a contest speech? But language is language. You have to know your audience, and you have to be able to pitch the language to a level where the audience can understand things. But even if you pitch it to a level where the audience understands, if you are using inaccurate language, inaccurate words, or difficult words, it's still a language issue for the evaluator.
Maybe also jargon words, technical.
Good, very good, true, very true, very true. Good point, good point. Yes. All right, clear up to this point?
Yes.
All right, organization. Can someone explain to me, when it comes to speech evaluations, what does organization mean? What's it all about when we talk about organization?
An introduction where you can
The
have
points
a
that
good
you list down in the order, like in a specific order.
Yeah, organization could be the order you present the points. What else could organization be?
Your presentation also, like how you presented because organization is one factor, and then how in organized way you presented this one and within the time.
Yeah, well, what do you mean by that, Toastmaster Masood? Can you explain?
Clarity of the content delivered.
Yeah, one second. I just want Toastmaster Masood to explain. I don't understand when you said the presentation. Can you explain a little more, please?
Yes, sir. As you mentioned that evaluator has to give the complete evaluation. So therefore, he has to cover all the area for the evaluation, being evaluator. And it should be organized in a well way to cover every area within the specific time and in a very good way presented.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about your point, but I'm going to say something about it in the end when we get to the application. So organization is about how you have set up your speech. Your introduction. Is your introduction too long? Is it in the right place? How many main points do you have? Do you have a conclusion? Do you have a summary? Does the summary really summarize the main points? Do you have humor? Is the humor in the right place? Do you have a question? Is the question in the right place? All this has to do with organization. Do you have any transitions? Are the transitions where they should be? Are they doing the job right? All right.
Can I ask one question? Sorry for asking it.
Go ahead, please.
Like you mentioned that while being an evaluator, we can inject some joke or some lighter. So it will not be kind of a little bit insulting kind of things, or how you can, if you can just.
1 minute. Did I say you can inject humor? Did I say that?
No, you said that you can organize whether this is a humor or joke or some lighter. If I get rightly.
No, I didn't say that. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't say
sorry
humor.
for misunderstanding.
I didn't say the word joke or humor. Not from my mouth. No. Okay. All right. Okay. Organization. Anything else in organization?
Like your speech should be covering the three sectors: introduction, body, and conclusion.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You have a question in the beginning. Have you addressed the question correctly? Was it addressed in the right way? I mean, does the speech follow a narrative form? What's a narrative form? What's a narrative
form? Is just like a story form.
Right. Right. And how does a story progress? Usually, traditionally, conventionally, how does a story progress?
Sequentially, point to point.
Sequentially in what? Sequentially in what?
The timing.
In the events.
Yeah. So here's an interesting part in organization. A story may be replicated, may be presented in narration form. Narration conventionally follows time, but for purposes of dramatics, you may want to reorganize the time, and that's why you hear some speakers say, okay, fast forward backwards, or fast forward, or let me take you back. Have you heard those phrases when speakers say fast forward, or let me take you back now 2 years ago? They take you to so they're playing with the organization, or they do what's called a flashback. You know what a flashback is, right? Okay.
Yes.
So they're playing with organization. It's like a movie director, right? What does a movie director do? A great movie, if you think about any great movie that you have watched, the movie director plays with time. So he organizes the scenes, if you like. So you can organize the parts of your speech in such a way where you do flashbacks. or fast forward and flashback and fast forward. That's organization. So that's one way to think of organization. Do you follow me? So as a speech evaluator, you could say, you know what, when you did that fast forward, Toastmaster Peter, it really was very complicated for me to follow you. I think that fast forward should have been directly at the beginning of your speech, so the organization was more streamlined, so we could understand what exactly this was leading to. I'm just giving you an example of an evaluation that's focusing on organization. Is that clear? Okay. All right. Now let's go to voice. What's voice?
The voice modulation is like how high you can go.
Yeah. Yes. Madam Toastmaster Pretty. Yes, it could be voice modulation, but what goes into voice? That's my question. There are four flavors that go into voice.
High pitch, low pitch.
Louder.
Right.
Low.
What else? What else?
The intonation.
Great. What else? What else?
It's basically how you present your emotions with your voice.
Right. So in voice, we have four flavors. All right. We have volume, pitch, pace, and pause. You can write it down. Volume, pitch, pace, and pause. So when you are focusing on voice, you're actually focusing on four flavors: chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and mango. All right. Who likes strawberry?
Could you please repeat that?
Yes. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and mango.
No. Volume, pitch. I'm sorry, I didn't get the
pitch, pace, and pause.
Pace.
Madam Toastmaster Dipti, I need you to treat everyone to some ice cream.
Yes,
sure.
All right.
Sure, we'll do that.
All right. Okay. Yes. All right. Now, so you have what voice is about. And do I need to explain these things, or you know the four vocal flavors we just went over? Are they all clear? Yep. Any questions on this? Going once, going twice, gone. Let's go to emotions. What's emotions? This is a truly tricky one. What is emotions?
It's feeling.
Yes, it's feelings.
The way you play with the audience's emotions.
Well, yes. So think of yourself as a speech evaluator. You are now evaluating the speaker or the speech for emotions. What are you actually looking at? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I can answer.
The way they changed their...
For example, if speech is a sad moment and the speaker smiling, then I will see the message is not incongruent with his body language.
Right,
Sad moment
and
a smile like that.
Right, but that what you're describing is a little bit like a combination of gestures and emotions, which is true. Gestures and emotions do come together. Because
we should put the words with the relevant emotions so that
very good, Toastmaster Mashud. You already have won a scholarship to my academy. All right. Emotions means what? Emotions means that you carry the words and the facial gestures or the body gestures of what you're trying to relay. So if you're trying to relay a sad moment, then your voice has to be sounding sad, your face has to be looking sad, and you have to be showing that sadness. So that's why I said emotions has gestures in it, but emotions is not just gestures. Emotions are very complex. You know, define for me what love is. I challenge you to define for me that four-letter word, L-O-V-E. Love can be, it is a four-letter word only, but it can mean a million things. So the question then is, how is an emotion detected and evaluated in a speech? This is the most difficult one, and yet this is the most valuable one. You know, you have to look at the gestures, you have to look at the tone of voice, you have to look at the words, but there's one key area that emotions cannot hide from. And I want you to write this down. This is a secret element that I'm sharing with you, and that is role playing. When you have role playing in a speech, you have emotions being exchanged. Think about you and your mother, you and your father, you and your daughter, you and your son, you and your wife, you and your boss, disagreeing or even agreeing about something. Is there emotion in that discussion? I would say there is.
Yes.
There is, right? The tone of voice, the way you look at the person, what you're asking of them to do. There is emotion when you are having role playing with another person, because people live off two things: communication and emotion. Emotion and communication. Without emotion, there is truly very little communication, right? So that's very, very important to note. Role playing encompasses emotions, and emotions are where you will find them. You will find emotions in role playing. Okay, depending on what it is they're discussing or disagreeing about or arguing about. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4 areas in the glove approach. The glove approach is the approach that can unlock. Here's the glove. The glove approach is the approach that can unlock the framework that can unlock any speech. No speech can get away from the glove approach. No speech, no matter how great it is, can escape the glove approach. Are all these 5 areas clear for you now? Please tell me if everything is clear or if it's not clear. All clear? All right, excellent.
Really clear.
Okay, all right, now, where are we? Okay, great. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. We have 3 wonderful speakers tonight. Speakers, raise your hand. Where are you? Oh, our president leads by example. Who else is speaker? Who else? Who are the speakers? Can you please raise your hand, speakers? Madam Toastmaster President, can you take control and coordinate this? Give me the 3 speakers, please.
Yeah, Toastmaster Albert, Toastmaster Murukesh, and Toastmaster Manoharan.
All right, are they here?
Please raise your hand, speakers.
Okay,
Manoharan and
yeah.
Murugesh has just
Albert
he'll
are
come.
there.
He just went for some work. He's coming back.
Okay, so we have. Okay, so who's going to be first? Who's our first speaker? Toastmaster Manoharan.
First speaker is Toastmaster Albert.
Where is Albert? Albert. Okay, Jerry, can you change the name to Albert Speaker 1, please? Manoharan, can you change the name to Speaker 2, please? Manoharan Speaker 2, please.
He went to his.
All right, Albert, you are speaker number 3. Albert, mute, everyone, mute, Dipti, mute Albert, please. Albert, turn your name into Albert Speaker 3. Albert is 3, right, Dipti? Dipti, Albert is 3. You are muted,
He's
Dipti.
1, speaker 1.
Who is speaker 1?
Giving icebreaker speech.
Dipti, can you organize them for me? Organize them, please.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Okay. All right. Now, for the rest of you, while we're organizing the speakers in sequence, here's what we're going to do. We have 3 great speakers, 3 wonderful speakers, 3 volunteers. Now's the time when new knowledge, please mute Albert. Here's the time when new knowledge becomes application. We've covered the new knowledge. We've gone over it together interactively. I've received your input. You've received my input. Everything seems to be clear. Now we're going to apply the new knowledge directly to where it should be applied, to 3 great speakers. What I'm going to ask of you is, Toastmaster Albert, mute please. Okay, what I'm going to ask of you is, you are going to evaluate these speakers by choosing one, you're still unmuted. Now you're muted. Okay, by choosing either G, what does G stand for?
Gestures.
Good.
L,
Language.
O,
Language.
Organization.
Organization.
voice.
Modulation.
Right.
Voice.
V stands for voice, and E.
Emotion.
Emotion.
All right. Now you understand what goes into each one of these 5 areas, G, L, O, V, E. You will choose only one. I repeat, you will choose only one. So for example, let's say Toastmaster Robert says, I say, Toastmaster Robert, are you, would you like to give me your evaluation? Toastmaster Robert would say, I'm going to evaluate speaker 2, and I'm focusing on L for language. Or he might say, I'm going to evaluate speaker 1, and I'm focusing on O for organization. And Toastmaster Robert will give us a 2-minute speech evaluation that focuses only, I repeat, only on organization of the speech that he heard from the speaker. Is this clear? Right.
Yes.
So everyone here, other than the speakers, everyone here must have a notebook, must have a pen, and must be prepared to single out either a G or an L or an O or a V or an E for each one of these speakers. And when I choose you, when I select you, you will. So if I say Toastmaster Mashud, what are you going to evaluate? And he's going to say, oh, I'm evaluating speaker 3 and I'm looking at V for voice. And he will give us a 2-minute evaluation on voice based on what we've just covered. Is all this clear? Anyone not clear? Anyone not clear? All right, good. Yes, question.
Yes.
What's
Our first speaker, should I invite?
Yeah, 1 second. So when the first speaker comes out, everyone except the speakers will have a notebook and be looking at one of the areas of the glove approach and write down what it is you want to write. Remembering the 3 questions: what I saw, what I heard, what I felt. What I saw, what I heard, what I felt. What I wanted to see, what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to feel. Is this clear? Clear? Jerry, all clear?
Yep.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all this in mind, let's begin. Let's listen carefully to our first speaker. Single out what it is you want to focus on and focus it clearly with the 3 questions, and then I'll get back to you and you will tell me what you found in your speech evaluation. All right, Madam Toastmaster Dipti, introduce our first speaker.
Dipti, do I send the timing also?
Yes, please. Yes, please, Robert.
Okay.
DTM Robert is the timer today, so he will tell about timing. Yeah, our first speaker is Toastmaster Albert. He's giving his icebreaker today. The objective of icebreaker is to introduce yourself to the club members and also to learn the organization of a speech in intro, body, and the conclusion of the speech. So may I invite Toastmaster Albert? His speech title is Quotes That Inspire Me. Quotes That Inspire Me, Toastmaster Albert. The floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Deepti. A very good evening to everyone. Thank you very much for having me here in your Toastmasters Club. Tonight, I'll be delivering to you my icebreaker, and I would add some twist at the end. My name is Albert. I'm a mechanical engineer, born in Bacolod City, in the country of the Philippines. I studied my elementary school in a Chinese school back then proceeded to high school in the same school, then went to college to complete my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. After that, I proceeded with my work, got my experience, and later on, as I go along with my experience, I decided to continue further schooling. I completed my master's, and later on in 2021, completed my PhD. I would like to share to you about my career after that. I started as a draftsman. I believe everyone is aware of that. Draftsman is the guy who sits on the table, drawing, designs, making schedules sometimes, but mostly is drawing. And I see that's not my path. I'm not that person. I like to use my hands on real machines. So I decided to proceed further, find another job where I will be in the field. And here's where the twist comes in. One time, I was on a construction site. We have a very big crane that time. It's a 100-ton mobile crane. And we were doing some works. It's a construction tunneling site. The driver of the crane, he had an emergency call. He had some issue and he has to go home to see his wife. So I am the project in charge that time. Without any delay, I told him, okay, is your wife calling you? It's very urgent. Go. I'll manage the site. Without thinking that there's no one to drive the crane after the day. So I remember I have a few skill and I was working as a driver during my student years. Okay, I can manage. I'll drive the crane just to move it out of the way before we end the day's job. So here I go. I drove the crane. It's my first time to drive such a very, very big equipment. And for any reason, I was moving back. I hit one car. It was hit so bad. And I said, my goodness, why did I take this decision? So I waited until the owner came. And here comes the owner. He has a big golf bag with him. He was smiling all the way with a trophy on the hand. And you know what? He won a golf tournament. And when he saw me waiting in his car, he was really, really pissed. He had a good day. He won the award. And his car is a mess. So what I did, by full honesty, I told sorry. I hit your car. It's my mistake. Let's go. Let's call the cops. To cut the long story short, everything was settled. The cops, insurance, everything was settled. And he asked me one question. In the police station, you told me that you are an engineer. And then he said, why are you a truck driver? Then I explained to him that the driver had an emergency about his family. So, okay, I told him I took the risk. He can go immediately. And that's where the twist came in. That guy has a big position in one international company in the Philippines. Then he said, okay, you are a very responsible project engineer. You are responsible of your guy, and even we were responsible to complete your project that day. Visit me next week, bring your CV. That's where the twist of my career came in. And what's the quote that I live with that? And I like to share to you all. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you might feel bad. You're thinking your day's all down, but always remember, things happen for a reason, and one day it will happen to us all in a good way. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Deepti.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Albert.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Albert. Okay. So we can make this session as interactive as possible and as practical as possible. All right. I would like now to give everyone, let's say, 1 minute to look at their notes and just see what you've noted about Toastmaster Albert's speech, either a G or an L or an O or a V or an E. I've kept my notes as well. And I'm going to call upon you to give us a 2-minute, Toastmaster Robert, if you can kindly give us 2 minutes on the clock when the evaluator begins. So we can have like 1 minute for green, 1:30 for amber and 2 for red.
Okay. Toastmaster Manohar, can you pin me?
I can actually add you to Spotlight.
Okay.
So we got, when you're at 1 minute, it'll be green. Amber or yellow will be 1:30 and 2 will be red. You have to finish up at 2. You have 30 seconds or you'll be disqualified. So technically speaking, we give you 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but you should try to wrap it up when you see the red. You get a 2-minute speech evaluation. You will begin your speech evaluation by saying, I will focus on G for gestures. I will focus on L for language. I will focus on O for organization. I will focus on V for voice. I will focus on E for emotions. Is that clear? Whichever one you've decided you've focused on. I focused on, for example, O for organization, but you can focus on anything else. All right. Let's take a deep breath, and let's see who's going to be our first speech evaluator using the speech evaluator's mantra with the 3 questions and the 3 questions that I have introduced you to, and then looking at those 3 questions through the glove approach. All right, raise your hand. Who would like to come out first? Madam Toastmaster Shruti, nice to see you. Dear Madam Toastmaster Shruti, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Peter. It's always my delight to hear you.
Okay, great. Which area are you focusing on, by the way?
I will focus on V for voice.
V for voice. All right, everybody listen in and let's see what Madam Toastmaster Shruti comes up with as far as input and evaluation, focusing on V for voice. Whenever you're ready, please let us know.
I can get 1 minute to prepare the notes, or I have to deliver now?
You have to deliver now. Are you ready, or shall I go to the next speaker?
No, I can deliver now.
All right. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, I'll focus on V for voice for Toastmaster Albert. It is a delight to hear Toastmaster Albert. His voice is clear. I heard a very confident speaker, and the voice has no ambiguous pronunciation. The pronunciation is clear. I felt happy to hear his voice. He's friendly. He seems approachable, and his story is a great story. And he narrated the story in a nice voice. I also appreciated the fact that his voice can be complemented by the body language. He used his body language to complement his voice. However, my recommendations for him is, I've missed the voice modulation. When there were dialogues between his boss and him, and when there were dialogues between the owner of the person whose voice, his car you hit, and between you, I could not see the difference. The pauses were nice, the pitch was good, but if I am not looking at you, I could not make out that there are 2 people talking. Your body language complements it, but your voice did not support the differences between the dialogues. I like the way you ended. However, I would suggest to add some emotions in your voice where you felt it is difficult for you to drive the truck. So I wanted to hear more emotions there. Overall, you are a very confident and a very clear speaker. Looking forward to hear more from you. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Shruti. Always a pleasure to hear you. Now, would you like my input on Madam Toastmaster Shruti evaluation now, or after each one, after each speaker, or in the end?
I think now, TTM Peter, it's better you.
All right. Okay, now, can anyone tell us what they found Madam Toastmaster Shruti was doing based on the glove approach and based on the 3 questions? We are now actually evaluating the evaluator using the model. We want to see how accurate the evaluator is in using the model. And if they're not accurate, what have you noticed about their inaccuracy in using the model? Can anyone give us some input on Madam Toastmaster Shruti's evaluation, how she did it according to the glove approach in the 3 questions? This requires we're on our toes. We're very, very sharp listeners. Anyone?
She was focusing mainly on voice, but she also talked about the body language, which she should not, because her area was there. And then she also spotted the voice evaluation with some emotions, words, that her words, and I think some face related. So I think she also mixed the body language along with the voice.
Very good, Toastmaster Mashood. So essentially, what did she promise? What did Madam Toastmaster Shruti say that she was going to focus on?
Voice.
Yes. And what's the question for voice according to the speech evaluator's mantra?
What she want to
Volume, pace, and pause.
The voice should be what I heard.
What I heard, what I
And
wanted.
what I wanted to hear. And so the evaluator went from organization to gestures, how you ended, to emotions. So the evaluator was all over the place. This is something.
What I would like to suggest was, we would like to hear from Toastmaster Shruti, like as the first question, what you would like to hear, to enact what way Toastmaster Albert could have delivered that particular dialogue, which way she wanted to hear, which would have
Right.
was more impact.
Right. So the question that the evaluator should have been addressing, since the evaluator decided to focus on voice, was what I heard and what I wanted to hear. So when you decide to choose an area of speech evaluation, you need to be clear what you're looking at, and you need to focus only on what you're looking at based on what you've decided to look at, and not go all over the place. And that's why the sandwich approach does not really work to the advantage of an advanced speech evaluation. You are finding this out yourself right here and now, because this is like a sandwich approach. It's all over the place. All right, let's go to our next evaluator. Who is going to do the next evaluation for Toastmaster? We're going to try to get as many in as possible. We're already 1 hour and 20 minutes into our workshop, and we're still having fun. All right, Toastmaster Mashood. Toastmaster Mashood, what are you focusing on, sir?
Sir, I would focus about the gesture.
Gestures. Okay, so, all right. So, Madam Toastmaster Shruti, you were the first, so please forgive us for being, how can I put it, raising the bar on you, but we're only raising the bar on you so everyone can learn, and we really appreciate your dedication and your kindness. All right. So now, Toastmaster Mashood, everyone is going to focus on gestures. Let's see if he delivers the goods. Go ahead, Toastmaster Mashood. Timer, are we ready?
Toastmaster.
Can we have it only for 1 minute so more people get an opportunity?
Yeah. So now everyone is aware of what Toastmaster Mashood should be doing, which means that we are raising the bar on Toastmaster Mashood, and we're expecting a lot more accuracy, let's say, in his speech evaluation. All right.
Yes, Detail Peter, can we make it a 1 minute evaluation so that everyone will get a chance? Because 2 to 3 minutes, maybe some may not get a chance.
It's only 2 minutes, and we've planned it this way. We'll also have a future workshop. If the people here want to see me again, I'm more than happy to come back again. So let's just do it the way I planned it, and we'll take it from there. Go ahead, Toastmaster Mashood.
Thank you. Toastmaster Alberto talked about quotes that inspire him. So it means...
What are you focusing on? I'm sorry, again, gestures?
Gestures, sir.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yes. It's 2 minutes, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So he started about as an icebreaker, and the topic was quotes that inspire him. So it means it was expected that his body language will be very much with respect of that how as an icebreaker guy talks about it. what I noticed that he started very well, but he did not manage the camera setting. And that's why he was over to the camera, which was making some not clarity to observe, to watch his body along with when he is delivering. So it was over to the camera, and which was stopping the audience to focus on his body. Secondly, he was moving around continuously, bending front, and then there was a very movement of his hands, which was basically distracting the audience to focus on the subject along with the body sport. So he was having the continuously same facial expression, so which was not helping to get the emotions behind the words. So where the sad movement is there and where is the happy movement, and he was excited all the time. So which was even his body was very excited all the time. So he need to give some ups and downs towards the topic what he was talking about, the sad and happy moment and the conclusions. So this way, and he was having very same kind of the pace, which I think his body was showing the aggressiveness along with his voice sport, which I think he can be more better if he has some softness and some hardness in his body to show that where he is excited and where he is soft or sad or the moment is something different. So that's I recommend him that he should have body arrangement, camera settings, and in alignment with the subject. Thank you. Over to you.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mashoud. Now, let's go directly to evaluating Toastmaster Mashoud with everyone present. Who would like to offer some input on the evaluation you heard on Toastmaster Mashoud's evaluation, noting that Toastmaster Mashoud promised that he would focus on gestures? Please.
Toastmaster Mashoud started very well. He promised to speak about gestures, but then again, voice, emotion, and other factors got mixed up. So I think we all are distracted and we are not able to concentrate on one single point. So that is something which we have been doing that, and changing that will require some time. Yeah.
Very good point, Madam Toastmaster Dipti. Yes, if you notice, Toastmaster Mashoud promised that he would focus on gestures. Okay, he mentioned gestures, but in his evaluation, he mentioned pace, he mentioned voice, he mentioned excitement, which had nothing to do with that. Okay, and this is the challenge in applying this model, that you have learned to do speech evaluations that are all over the place. But this model, in a way, keeps you in check. Now, question. What is the question that Toastmaster Mashoud should be asking himself when it comes to gestures? Based on the speech evaluator's mantra, which question fits gestures?
I wanted to see.
Right. So that's the question Toastmaster Mashoud should have had in the back of his mind. What I saw, what I wanted to see. He should have started off with Toastmaster, let me give you an example. Toastmaster Alberto, what I saw was someone who was standing proudly in front of the camera, someone who wasn't sitting. I really liked that. But what I wanted to see was you and facial gestures coming to life, with the fact that you were involved in an accident. You could have gone to jail, and yet your voice was calm. So that's the difference between focusing on many things and focusing simply on one thing. Is that clear?
Thank you, sir.
All right, great. One more speech evaluator for Toastmaster Alberto, and then we go to the next speaker. Toastmaster Rajendra Prashu Bachu.
Hi, Peter. Yeah.
Yes. What are you focusing on, sir?
Gestures.
Gestures. This everyone take a note of this. This is going to be interesting because we've got another gesture person. Make a note of this. All right. Whenever you're ready, timer when you're ready.
So, as it is an icebreaker session for Albert, so it is a first session. So usually he may fear a lot for giving his speech. So he may hold his hands freezing. So what I expected is it's a beginning speech. He just started using his gestures. So, but what I in my mind is he started using his hands freely. So I observed it is he used the podium properly and gestures, and he quoted a few examples also. Owner carrying load. So he shown his gestures on shoulders like carrying something. And he whenever he say quotes, he just mentioned like this. So those gestures reach to the content what I feel. So that's my evaluation wanted to say, Peter.
All right, great. Now let's go to the audience. Let's go to our participants. Okay, so who would like to give some input to Toastmaster Ranjan Drapshushu Bachu, who said that he would focus on gestures? Anyone?
May I
Yes,
say?
yes, Toastmaster Shruti, please.
Toastmaster Rajendra Prasad used gestures aptly, and he mentioned that he considered the situation of speaker as well, and that it's an icebreaker. So he was expecting the nervousness. Rather, on the contrary, the speaker was very confident. However, what I noticed is if we focus only on one aspect, we'll not be able to cover 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't understand. I didn't follow you.
Means the timing, his evaluation timing was very
Yes.
short than
Yeah,
required.
exactly. Yes. He didn't use, yes. So here the evaluator failed to use the time correctly, which meant that there's something wrong with the evaluation. I hate to say it. An evaluation needs to take the allotted time. That means the evaluator knows what they're doing and what they're talking about. So it's important that you use the time correctly. Okay, very good. All right, now, without further ado, let's go to speaker number 2 because we're going to run out of time. Who is speaker number 2? All right,
Toastmaster Manoharan.
Yes. All right, everyone, get ready for a second round. We have our second contestant in the ring, ready to take another swing, and we are also ready. All right, whenever you're ready, speaker timer, thank you very much. The floor is yours. Speaker and evaluators all get ready. Participants get ready. We're all on the ball.
This will be a 5 to 7 minute speech.
Okay, can we get Toastmaster Dipti, can you introduce the speaker, please?
Yeah, Toastmaster Manoharan is the VPE of Ain Toastmasters Club and is a very good speaker till now. The speech title is...
I don't think you should say he's a very good speaker until now. That is bias. I would refrain from saying comments like this. He's a very good speaker until now.
Okay, sorry, DTM. Embarking on change for better. Embarking on change for better, Toastmaster Manoharan.
Embarking on the change journey for better. A successful change is a path, not a process. An anonymous quote. Madam President Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Amidst COVID-19 in the year 2020-2022, our organization had decided to restructure the hierarchy. As part of it, there was a lot of shuffling in the managers, supervisors, and team leaders. Fortunately, I got promoted as a supervisor of my therapy unit. I had mixed feelings, coupled with happiness as well as apprehension, as leadership role was something very new to me. Within few months, I was asked to handle a project called robotic assisted therapy, which was sponsored by a Swiss-based company. I had a clear orientation about this equipment regarding the objectives, the purpose of it, and the effects, and the reason for the transition with a detailed technical training. After the training, I was asked to create a short-term plan to collect data from the members and submit a feasibility report within a month. At the first technical meeting, I was having a technical meeting with our team members, and nearly 90% of our team members shown their rejection. They were not interested to accept this project. I was shell shocked to hear that. However, my conscience kept my emotions aside and started to introspect the reason for the rejection. Later, I observed the main barriers for the change were: number one, fear and resistance to change; number two, time and manpower consumption. To implement this project, we followed a particular strategy called BEST strategy. Means behavior, expectation, skills, and training. We emphasized on behavior, skills, and training. In the behavior component, the biggest reason for the resistance was habit. They have been following old routines throughout their life, but all of a sudden, when a new change happens, they were so reluctant to change. Therefore, we created habits of new routines, which is easy to understand and cut shorten the goals, and also practice in a safe environment. We have clearly articulated that the reason for this change is because to improve the quality and also improve the research aspects for our organization. In the training component, we offer 3 levels of training, from foundation, mid, and advanced training till they master in this technology, which significantly reduced the execution time as well as manpower. Eventually, they honed their much needed technical skills that they were able to handle the equipment independently. This is how we ignited the change mindset in our team members. Well, how do people process change then? To help leaders understand better the emotional change journey, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, a physiatrist, detailed this journey, what is called as change curve. Let's walk to the steps of the change curve. The first change happens in the status quo that shakens, aggravation, denial, and even shock arises. Next phase is the resistance, where people often laced with anger, finger pointing, and rejection as well. Followed by that is the resignation phase, where the people's energy will be low, where they are like, the morale goes down. And this is when we need to support them by active listening and showing some empathy towards them in order to express the real truth. With that, they will move on to the next phase, emergence, where they started to productively engage with the next phase. And also they start to evolve on the possibilities. Followed by that is the evolving phase, where the behavior started to change, that in turn ignite a new routine. And the last phase would be aftermath, where they reflect and realize change wasn't even bad after all. Before I conclude, I have 3 questions before you consider change. Number 1, what problems are you going to solve with the proposed change? Number 2, is there a clear vision for change? Number 3, how are you going to measure the change? With that, I reiterate, a successful change is a path, not a process. Back to you, Toastmasters of the evening.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you, speaker number 2. All right, you know the process now. We are looking to evaluate our speaker number 2, and we are going to focus either on GLOVE. I'll give you 1 minute to kind of put your notes together. And I think Toastmaster Rudvij is ready to give an evaluation, so we don't waste time because we're running a little bit behind schedule. Toastmaster Rudvij, am I correct in saying that you are ready to give an evaluation? I can't hear you, sir. You're muted.
Yes, Toastmaster Rudvij, you can start.
Hold on a second. We can't hear him. Wait, Madam Toastmaster Deputy. Toastmaster Rudvij, can you fix your microphone, sir? Okay, we can't hear you. All right, while you're trying to fix your microphone, can we go to our next evaluator? Who's our next evaluator? Who would like to evaluate our speaker number 2? So we don't waste time. Anyone? Come on.
Hello,
Yes,
can you hear me now?
Yes. All right, great. Rudvij. Okay. All right, Rudvij. Okay. Can you speak again? Say something.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, great. What are you going to focus on, sir?
I'll be focusing on G gestures.
Okay, G gestures. That's what I focused on as well. So I'm interested to see what you noted and what I noted. Everybody else, take a note and be on your toes. All right, timer, are we ready? Speaker, evaluator, are we ready? Let's take it.
Okay, so what I saw in my speaker's speech each is a confident posture with good hand movement and the very nice use of the space he had and I saw a bit of a lack of facial expressions in my speaker. I feel like he could have improved on that. And I think what I really wanted to see is a much more greater variety of hand gestures. He stuck to one like hand gesture, like keeping his hands flared out like this, is when he should have used more or like a higher variety of greater hand gestures. And behind him he had a lot of like open space that he could have used. I personally think he should have used the triangle movement and method to like make a better use of the space he had. And I personally feel like he could have used better expressions and put emphasis on what he was trying to say and trying to convey through his speech. Thank you.
All right, great. All right, good. All right, wonderful. Okay, now, who would like to give some input to the speech evaluator, Toastmaster Rudvij? Who would like to give some input? Who would like to evaluate the evaluator, in other words? Anyone? Okay, I'll do it. All right, now, I think Toastmaster Rudvij was perhaps the first person who did what was expected to be done. Number one, good job. You said you started off with the question, right? You said you're going to focus on gestures. You said what I saw. What I saw. And then somewhere in your speech evaluation, you said what I wanted to see. So automatically, this is the backbone of a good speech evaluation. You mentioned, or he mentioned, that he said that the speaker's hands were used a lot, but they were used in the same way, right? Which was accurate. I noted that as well, right? That the speaker did use his hands. I focused on gestures as well, but the speaker used his hands similarly. And the whole point is, I saw you using your hands. I thought you were using your hands quite frequently. You were emphasizing quite frequently. But what I wanted to see, okay, so you did the right thing, Toastmaster Ridvij. You did address gestures. You did use the 2 questions. You noted some things that the speaker was doing with his hands. You also noted what the speaker could have done better with his hands. So in 2 minutes, you gave us what you could have. You gave us what you could have. There were some areas you could have focused on more, but I don't want to give it away just in case we have another evaluator here that is focusing on gestures. Anybody else would like to evaluate the speaker?
Yeah, I would like to evaluate organization.
Organizations. Okay, so Madam Toastmaster Ambili, correct?
Yes, Ambili.
All right, Madam Toastmaster Ambili is going for O, everyone. Please note this. O stands for organization. Let's listen in and see what she delivers. Go ahead whenever you're ready, Madam Toastmaster Ambili, and timer, please.
First of all, I would like to thank our speaker for taking a topic that is relevant to many of us, and especially for me, because I'm working in an organization and I see that there are changes happening. So kudos to you for taking up this topic, this subject. While coming to organization of your speech, what I heard from you is you talked about change management that happened in your organization. You shared your personal story and how you brought about a change with the help of your team, and you were successful in bringing about a change in your organization. So that was very well done by you. However, what I would like to hear from you was, you started off your speech, which you, since you have taken a very topical subject, you could have started it with a power pack quotation or a statement which would attract us to listen to you what you are going to talk about. So you could have started your introduction more in a powerful way. Going forward, your body of your speech, you talked about your how you brought about a change in the organization. Thereafter, you talked about the phases. What I would like to, what I would suggest is that the phases you could have added in your story instead of adding it separately, because it found like it was some sort of theory that you have added in. And I lost that curiosity to listen to you since you have added a subjective part in your story. And coming to the conclusion, I felt like instead of giving 3 questions, you could have asked 3 powerful questions, like how you would bring about a change in your organization, what steps you would take. Have you thought about it? So something in a powerful way, you could have closed it so that we all should get inspired. And what I felt in overall your construction is that since the topic was very good, but you could have made it more inspiring for the audience to take home a powerful message from you. Overall, it was a good topic, but however, you could have improved further. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Madam Toastmaster Ambili. All right, who would like to give some input on what we heard from Madam Toastmaster Ambili, noting that Madam Toastmaster Ambili was focusing on organization?
See, Toastmaster Ambili, you were talking about the, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead, Toastmaster Sandeep.
You're talking about organizing the thing. It's all about finishing the whole thing within the time span. I think you should have mentioned that also. I mean, he had completed everything in the time span in a planned way. So I think while we evaluate, we have to look into that fact also, since it's about organizing.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Toastmaster Sandeep, on the organization evaluation?
No, actually, she was telling about what she's looking into and how he presented and what she expected and what she got from Toastmaster Manoharan. So I think it's okay, but she should have mentioned the time span also. Like he had completed within the time, which is a part of planning, part of organizing.
That's true. Otherwise, he would have been disqualified, however.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I want to add on.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, good. All right, somebody else, any feedback on the evaluation that focused on organization by Madam Toastmaster Ambili?
I would say it's a very well organized evaluation that she gave. She actually provided the entire structure, and she gave the steps that he could actually follow for the next speeches. Like
Right.
she mentioned that he could have started with the quote, he could imbibe the theory inside the story. So I really liked her evaluation, and she kept herself to organization. That is really commendable for me.
Right.
So she did not deviate it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so yeah, we saw here improvements. We saw here that Madam Toastmaster and Billy, in fact, we saw improvements every step of the way. If I want to be honest with you, I see evaluators now becoming more focused, more focused, more focused, more focused. It is not easy. It's a training, but this training is taking place here and now with new knowledge. And Madam Toastmaster and Billy perhaps was the only one that really focused on organization and then recommending things that could have been done differently. You know, she said, for example, that you started off by change. You could have started with a greater impact by having some kind of quote. That's organization. And then also she mentioned in the end what the speaker could have added. That's also organization. It's the structure of the speech, right? Okay, so yeah, Madam Toastmaster and Billy, I think you were on the ball. All right. Anyone else want to offer some evaluation? Do we have time to go to one more speaker, Madam Toastmaster Dipti?
We will have a short speech, Toastmaster DTM Peter, because he has prepared. So we'll give 3 minutes is enough, I think, for the next speaker.
It's a 3-minute speech.
No,
Okay.
Dipti will have to deliver the full speech. You cannot have a 3-minute speech.
Yes.
Okay.
Who is the speaker? Who is the speaker?
Toastmaster Murugesh, you can, I'll just...
Toastmaster Murugesh, it's 5 to 7 minutes. Can you deliver, Mr. Timer, is it 4.5 minutes for disqualification or 5?
5, 4.5, 4.5.
No,
So,
actually, I have a 5 minutes to 7 minute speech actually.
Yeah,
So,
Toastmaster Murugesh, can you do it at least 5 minutes?
no, see, for me, it's very hard to curtail. Actually, I had to go by the flow because I haven't prepared it. I have prepared on those lines, right? So it will be very hard for me to cut corners at this point of time, obviously.
So does that mean you are ready or you're not ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready for the speech. I'll give the whole speech, is what I meant to say.
Okay, and how much time do you think the whole speech will take? About
It will
roughly.
be around 6 minutes approximately.
How much?
6 minutes.
Okay, great. All right, we're ready. We're ready for you. All right, everybody else, please take out your pen and notebook. Focus on something that you want to focus on Toastmaster Murugesh. Madam Toastmaster Dipti, can you introduce the speaker, please?
Yeah, Toastmaster Murugesh. His speech title is Speech Contest. He's working as business analyst and he has been in Toastmasters for 4 years. He served as president in NMC Toastmasters Club. Speech Contest, Toastmaster Murugesh. Toastmaster Murugesh, Speech Contest.
My mentor Robert called me. Murugesh, prepare for the international speech contest. International speech contest? Me? I've already given a couple of speeches, Robert. I have exhausted all my resources. What is that I'll do right now? How is that I'll prepare? You can do it, Murugesh. When your mentor, on a stern voice, says you can do it, then you have to do it. I was discussing this with my son, Aditya. Don't worry, Dad. There are so many speeches available online. I can download one speech for you, make some changes, and present it as if it is yours. That appears to be a very good idea, Aditya. Look for one good speech for me. Dad, Aditya screamed. I have downloaded an excellent speech for you. Come. No, Aditya. He is Dr. Katrak. He belongs to my club only. Anything I take out of the speech, definitely I'll be trapped. On a big day, I don't want to be the evaluator's bunny. What else I'll do right now? Toastmasters is not the only medium. There are so many speeches available online. I looked for some material, downloaded some speeches, recorded it, and took back to my first evaluator, Aditya, who is a Gavalier himself. I switched on the recording. Hardly 30 seconds. He passed it. What is this, Dad? I already told you, Aditya. I'm preparing for the international speech contest. International speech contest? He burst into laughter and laughed to an extent of getting tears out of his eyes. Dad, by far, this is the best joke of the year. The way in which you spoke reminded me of news reading I used to do in the school. Might be your school teacher will love it, but definitely not the evaluator. Best joke of the year? This is the worst evaluation feedback I have ever heard. Though I collected material from external sources, I don't have any personal connectivity to that material. So, I was not being able to get a flow in my speech. What else I'll do right now? The best way to approach is collect some material, prepare a supporting material, take it along with you, and present it then. You know one big advantage I hope I have over it? I did not remember everything. So, accordingly, I prepared some PowerPoint presentation, took it along with me, and showed it to him. I started my speech, but I was feeling a bit nervous because whatever feedback he gave me last time started lingering on my mind. Once I opened the presentation, his eyes started lighting up. This motivated me a lot. I continued my speech and completed it successfully. Evaluation, please. Dad, you have prepared an excellent supporting material. You have a highly cosmetic PPT. But can you repeat your speech once more? What? Repeat your speech, Dad. Last time at least, he heard my speech and gave a negative feedback over it. But this time? But it helped me to learn my next lesson. When you are carrying a supporting material along with you, don't put too much of emphasis on it so that it hijacks people's attention. What else I'll do right now? People are giving speeches day in and day out. For me, there's a big scarcity of thoughts. I wasn't being able to prepare one speech for international speech contest. When these things were running in my mind, one thing flashed out. We usually hear people speaking about how to prepare for the speech contest. Why can't I weave all my experiences together and give a speech on how not to prepare for the speech contest? I prepared on those lines. Here is where I'm sharing my experiences with you. Once it comes to preparation of speeches, instead of looking for materials externally, sit in, bring out all your experiences, introspect it, and add some ingredients to it, and give it to people. Definitely, it will be a very good dish, and people will be loving it. Once it comes to speech contest, people shy to participate, thinking that they might not win. As there's going to be only one winner, we should stop worrying about the result and start enjoying the process. Success comes only to people who dare to attempt. So, put your heart on your dream. Then, no desire is extreme. Evaluation, please.
All right, great. Let's go directly into speech evaluation mode with the GLOVE framework. Who would like to volunteer and tell us what they're focusing on and give us a 2-minute evaluation on what they're focusing on? Anyone?
Toastmaster Vidya, you had mentioned you want to. Yeah.
Hi, good evening to all. Yes, I would like to evaluate.
1 second, I can't see you. Hold on a second. Who is speaking?
Please put your camera on, Vidya.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, 1 second, please. Okay. All right. What are you focusing on, please?
I'll be focusing on Eve, that's emotion.
Okay, great. That's what I focused on. All right, good. Take it away. Timer 2 minutes. Are you ready, evaluator? Please, everyone pay attention to what the evaluator is going to say.
Hi, good evening to all. The topic that he selected, I like the topic, but throughout the topic, I felt the emotion was missing. I was not able to connect with the speaker when it comes to the struggle, his evaluation. See, when you're talking to your son, when your son is evaluating you, when others are evaluating you, there has to be some kind of emotions involved. Uh, Also, the kind of struggle you went through, the whole process of getting the content and preparing for the speech. So I felt the emotions were missing throughout the speech. That is why I was not able to connect with the speaker. That's about it. Thank you. I think I
Okay.
spoke very less.
All right. Okay, great. Who would like to give some feedback to Madam Toastmaster Vidya? Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Vidya, on what we heard from Madam Toastmaster Vidya.
A good observation, but like what she identified, but what difference he could have done could have been highlighted, like the emotions were missing, and it's always easy to point out, but it's very difficult to enact out. It even happens with me. It's easy to point out what the speaker has done, should have been done, but we are not able to give back the speaker what way he could have done it more better.
Exactly. Thank you, Toastmaster Robert. Isn't that one of the questions in the evaluator's mantra, right? One of the questions is, exemplify. Remember, exemplify. Isn't that what you're referring to, Toastmaster Robert?
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, that was missing in the evaluation. What also was missing was the evaluator, on the one hand, chose an area that I thought she could have said a lot more, but she didn't use up that time, which was a shame in my mind, right? Now, emotions, what question comes into play from the speech evaluator's mantra with emotions? What's the question?
What I wanted to feel.
Right, what I felt and what I wanted to feel. And she said, she was good. I think Madam Toastmaster Vidya said that. She said, I didn't feel any emotion with your speech, which was fine, right? She pointed out a few things like what needed to be, what wasn't there. But then she didn't say what I wanted to feel and take us that one step further. I think that's what Toastmaster Robert is referring to. Take us that one step further as to, okay, this is what I wanted to feel, and this is how you should do it, speaker, right? That was missing in the evaluation. That was missing. Okay, anybody else want to focus on one of the 5 areas, please? Yes, Toastmaster. What about, where's Priti? Where's Toastmaster Priti? Toastmaster Priti. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Toastmaster Priti, I was hoping that you would contribute tonight.
Yeah, actually, I've been making notes for all of them, but like my speech evaluation will be pretty short, so
That's
why I was
okay.
thought like
Yeah,
rather
well,
get
that's
into
okay.
it.
Have you focused on one area?
Yes, yeah.
Which
So I
area
have
did you
focused on
Yeah,
gestures.
on
Gestures.
gestures. Okay, great. All right, so let's listen to Madam Toastmaster Priti on gestures. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, you started off extremely well. Like you were having a conversation, I suppose, with your son Aditya. Am I right? Or
Yeah, I was.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I really like.
Madam Toastmaster Priti, just finish what you have to say. Don't engage with anyone.
Okay, yeah. So when you were speaking in a conversation, I could see that you were using gestures. You were moving here and there. You had movements were perfect. Your leg movements, you were moving back and forth as well. I could see that. And that showed your confidence. You were not moving too much, neither you were moving too less. Like if you move too much, that shows a sign of nervousness in you, but you were not doing that. So it's and you switch over. Amazing. The rest is I could just say about gestures now.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, all right. Who would like to offer some feedback? Who would like to offer some feedback for the evaluation you just heard? Okay, again, we have an evaluation that was quite short. An evaluation that was quite short that focused on gestures. Am I right, Madam Toastmaster Pretty? Right. So,
Yes, yeah.
right. Yeah. So here we could have had more about the fact that the speaker, one of the things the speaker was doing was rocking back and forth, right? Rocking back and forth was distracting. That was not mentioned. That could have been mentioned, right? But the other thing I would like to bring to your attention is that when it comes to emotions, because I think one area that I focused on with the speaker was emotions, it could have been quite interesting to see, hear, and feel the emotions through role-playing dialogue. Remember what we said in the beginning, that one way that emotions are played out, and you saw it here. This was a very emotional speech. You know, he wanted a speech for the contest, and his son came into the picture, and his son said to him, Dad, no problem. I'll take care of it. I'll download a speech. We'll tweak it a little bit. I'll hand it over to you, and that's it. Halas. So I would have liked to have seen and heard more dialogue, more emotion, because that's where emotions come out in role-playing dialogue, as I said in my presentation in the beginning. For example, with the father and son, right? The son was like the solution master and the father was the toastmaster. So I would have liked some role-playing in there, particularly in the struggle. Somebody mentioned struggle, right? That could have come out in the evaluation, right? But overall, I think that we have focused on one area and we have improved in the process. So as you can see, this workshop could go on and on for a long time, and we could have done more evaluations and evaluated the evaluators. But today, what I want you to note is if you've taken something away from today's workshop, not just in terms of knowledge, but in terms of application. That's the question I would like to finish up this workshop by asking you, my participants, both the speakers and the evaluators and the speech evaluator evaluators. My question to everyone is, have you taken new knowledge with you tonight, and have you taken application of new knowledge with you tonight? The floor is yours. Robert, please.
Yeah, if you have seen, like definitely it's a enriching session that we had today, and most of the speakers, they evaluators, they harped on like gave information about gestures and voice modulation, except Toastmaster Ambali, who dared to tread on the organization part. So that shows that organization is one particular part, like we are either weak or little poor in analyzing it in such a short time and get lost and focus the easy part like the gestures and voice modulations or emotions. So it's very difficult to look into the organization of the speech.
Right. Remember, one of the questions was why are good speech evaluations difficult? You know, good speech evaluations are difficult precisely because what you just said, they're difficult. But we have the tools now. We have the tools. So we have to learn how to use the tools. That's the most important thing. Okay, yes, Toastmaster Rudvig.
Yes, so I think I took away a better understanding of how you should evaluate a speech. It's like before this is in my school, we have this thing called Gavels Club, which is basically like a Toastmaster meeting. I was scared to take like the role of evaluating a speech because I wasn't really familiar with the concept of evaluation. I didn't really understand and some of the methods like the sandwich method, but I really think that these notes will help me to improve in my journey in our Gavels Club, and I think this will overall help me improve in my delivery of speech and overall public speaking skills. So I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity in general to come here and talk to you about what makes a good evaluation.
All right, great.
And
Yeah.
I'll probably take the role of evaluation next lesson.
All
Thank
right,
you.
great, great. We're happy you were here. You were very eager to participate. Please don't forget to reference my name. And if you're interested in my book, it's called The Speech Evaluation Handbook. It's on Amazon.com. You can always reach out to me on my Instagram account on Peter the Public Speaker and my website, www.peterthepublicspeaker.eu, where you get to know who I am, what I do, and what I'm all about. I am a dedicated public speaking coach and a competitive public speaker. I also do work for various corporations. So public speaking is my bread and butter. Public speaking is my oxygen. Public speaking is my hydrogen 2 oxygen. And I do it because I love to do it. I'm here with you tonight because I love to be here with you tonight. And I'm glad that young people are here with us tonight because they are the future. And you take those skills with you. Do you live in India, Mr. Ritvich?
Yes, I'm Indian. I'm currently living in Muscat, Oman right now.
Okay. I was an invited professor at the Indian Institute of Management in Rohtak, Haryana, last year. And they loved the course. I gave them a course in public speaking and the students loved it. So we carry on the legacy of imparting skills and strategies. Okay. Anybody else would like to give us some feedback on how they enjoyed, how they experienced the workshop? Did they take anything with them? New knowledge, anything? Go ahead, Madam Toastmaster Bindu.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much, Mr. Peter, for giving this session. All this time, I have been taking up evaluation on the CRC method, but today, with this glove method which you have shown us today, it is completely what we say is different view. Which I yes, the glove method is a complete different view which I have seen, and it really, I mean, today's session it's like an eye opener. 5 different ways which you can focus on. That's what I have learned in, and I'm sure I hope my teammates back in Muscat, they have attended your session. But if they have not, they are at great loss. Whoever has not attended your session today, but this is an eye opener for me, a new way of getting an evaluation done for the speakers. And this was a very interesting one because it was not just one-sided, just teaching and going away. It was in interactive one, so that was the best part of it. Though I
Great.
was not very confident to come up and give an evaluation, but at most of the times when others were evaluating, I was like agreeing, yes, this was what I was thinking. This was what I was thinking. But thank you so much, Peter, sir, for coming up, and thank you, Dipti madam, for this evaluation, art of evaluation session, educational session. Thank you so much.
Great, great. Madam Toastmaster Bindu, it was a pleasure, and we're happy that you are here, and we're happy you're taking new knowledge with you and application of new knowledge, which is the most important. Excellent, excellent. And that's the way it is. You can follow me on my Instagram account, Peter the Public Speaker, and my website if you have any questions. If you need my contact information, my agent, Madam Toastmaster Dipti, get in touch with my agent. Madam Toastmaster Dipti knows what I do, where I go, what I eat, who I hang out with. She's following me around wherever I go. All right. Anybody else want to give any feedback before we wrap it up? Yes, Toastmaster Sandeep.
Yeah, first of all my gratitude to DTM Peter for this wonderful section. This is my, actually, if you talk about Toastmasters, this is my second section. First online, and I just joined a couple of weeks before. So if you ask me how this is going to help me in applications, see, when we are looking in how to evaluate, we are learning how to deliver a speech.
Exactly.
So actually, I think this is going to help me in learning how to speak the things. So that's what I want to say.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. Madam Toastmaster Vidya.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Peter, for this amazing session. And this is my first online session with Toastmasters, and it has been an amazing experience. what I'm taking today is definitely, how to evaluate, because rightly said by Mr. Sandeep, it is not just how we evaluate, but it is also that how we will be evaluated by others. So, and generally what happens when we are doing the evaluation, we actually, pounce in, or, in considering all the criterias, and eventually not evaluating in either of the criterias. So here how, systematically you have explained us, how to bucket information and how to differentiate it, and how to get the, objectives to work based on the objective. So that was really beautiful. I'm really taking a lot more than I expected. So thank you so much for this beautiful session.
It was a pleasure, Madam Toastmaster Vidya. We were happy you were here. We were happy you participated, and we hope to see you again in our next workshop. Madam Toastmaster Henrietta Crasta, are you in Oman?
Yes. Good evening, DT and Peter. I'm
Are
sorry.
you Klita Crasta's daughter?
No, I'm nowhere related to her, but
Okay.
yes, we do share the same surname.
Because
I'm
she's a friend of
experiencing.
mine. Yeah, go ahead,
Oh,
please.
well, that's nice to hear, DTM.
Okay.
Mr. Peter, I'm sorry, I cannot switch on my video at the
That's
moment.
okay.
because-
We forgive you tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. As Bindu, who is my colleague as well in Muscat, I do agree with what she says. I'm very happy that I was a part of this training session. So thank you so much for your inputs. I have one question though. Just
Please.
like Bindu Mohite mentioned that we use the CRC method, that is commend, recommend, and the commend method. That is what I was following so far. I'm so happy that I came across this glove approach that you mentioned to us, and it could help me focus on the main points. So my question to you is, when I have a 3-minute evaluation speech to be given, how do I use this entire 3 minutes only for one point? Like you have the 5 points in glove: gestures, language, organization, voice modulation. So does that mean that when we are evaluating our speaker, we are keeping only this one point in mind and giving our entire evaluation? Or
Okay.
how are we
Okay.
doing it?
All right. Okay. Good question. I'm glad you took this opportunity to ask a question. Did everyone hear the question? Did everyone hear the question? Let's stay on our toes now, because these are valuable questions. Okay. The question was, for those of you who didn't hear it, was, how can I cover all these areas in 3 minutes? Actually, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Miss Cresta. You get disqualified at 3 minutes and 31 seconds. So to be technically accurate, you have 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I gave the speakers the evaluators only 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
So that was 1 minute less. So one of the things that it maybe in a future workshop is, you talked about this CRC method, the commend, recommend, commend. It's a waste of time. Okay, I know they use it. I know they use it. But it's a waste of time, and it's useless because it doesn't tell you what to look for. It doesn't tell you what you need to be looking for. But with my method, you have a clear understanding that you're looking for something. How can you evaluate something that you don't know what you're looking for? And somebody said that in the beginning, there's so much there, I don't know what I need to be looking for. It's like going into a supermarket and you're saying, oh my God, what do I need? I don't have a shopping list. Do I need fruit? Do I need meat? Do I need fish? Do I need chicken? Do I need a yogurt? Do I need milk? Do I need clothes? Okay, but with this method, my method, you go in knowing what you're looking for. The only difference, to answer your question, is that a lot of the people who do evaluations, they start talking too much about how the speech was great and how the speech was wonderful and how I really like this and I really like that, which is a waste of time. It is whitewashing. It is simply making the speaker feel good at the expense of the most valuable commodity you have as a speech evaluator, which is, what's the most valuable commodity you have as a speech evaluator?
To help the speaker improve.
No. Commodity. What's the most valuable commodity you have as a speech evaluator?
To make the speaker understand the mistake.
No. What's the most valuable commodity you have as a speech evaluator?
Glove.
No.
We are stuck.
Effective feedback of how to improve.
What's the most valuable commodity you have as a speech evaluator? And Robert
Did
was in
we
charge.
did we get what we're looking for?
Value.
No. What is it?
Constructive feedback.
Robert was representing it. What is it?
Time.
Time. Who said time? Put your hand up. Who said time? Thank you.
Toastmaster
Time.
Albert said.
Time is the most valuable commodity you have as an evaluator. You don't want to waste it on simply trying to make the speaker feel good. You're not there to make the speaker feel good. I said that from the beginning. You're there to give value in the relationship between you as an evaluator and the speaker as a speaker. So to answer your question, Madam Toastmaster Crasta, you can lower your hand. The way to do that is to get to the point. If you get to the point, you have time to cover 2 points. So if I were to have this workshop again with everyone here, and I said, Mr. Timer, Toastmaster Robert, we'll give 3 minutes and 30 seconds to everyone. Everyone here will be required to cover 2 areas, not one. Today we started easy. We started with one area, G-L-O-V-E. But maybe in a future workshop, when Madam Toastmaster Dipti is ready, we can say, now you are going, the people who are here today will be here in the future workshop where we go to more advanced level evaluation. Guess what, my friends? You cover not one, but 2 areas, G-L-G-O-V-E. You will be forced to get to the point, focusing on 2 areas and finish in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Is it easy? No. It's not easy, but you know what you've got to do. You know how to do it. It's not easy. I know it's not easy, but that is a good speech evaluator. Somebody who gets to the point, knows what they're talking about, and delivers a good speech evaluation. Have I answered your question?
Yes. If I can ask one more small
Go
question.
ahead. Go ahead. The third question, I'm going to have to charge you for it.
No, this just a second.
All right, go ahead.
If I could ask you to give us an example for if you could evaluate Toastmaster, our third speaker, just in 2 minutes, just to know how exactly you do it.
Evaluate the
Third
last
speaker.
in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, now you've caught me a little bit off guard. You know, this is like a 1-2 punch below the belt. Okay, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try if I remember what the last speaker. Okay, so the last speaker. Okay, so all right, where is the last speaker? Where are you, Mr. Last Speaker?
It was Murugesh.
Murugesh. Okay, all right, so. All right, so Robert, give me 2 minutes on the clock, please. Are we ready?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, Toastmaster Murugesh, a great speech where you truly wanted to prove to the world and to your family that you could deliver a great contest speech. A speech where you had emotions and voice and emotion. So today I'm going to focus on E for emotions and V for voice. Emotions. You had the opportunity to give us a speech that had a variety of emotions, particularly when it comes to vocal variety. Why do I say that? I say that because you had great role-playing setups with your son, particularly when I saw you turn around and speak to your son about how am I going to make a great speech? What do I need to do? And your son, who is much younger than you, less experienced than you, said, Dad, don't worry. I'll download a speech. There was a great opportunity there to carry some interesting vocal variety. But what I saw and what I heard was you just speaking in one monotone voice. Don't forget that vocal variety is 4 flavors: volume, pitch, pace, and pause. You use the same pitch and the same pace when you could have varied your pitch and varied your pace because you had emotions. Emotions in the surprise when your son offered the solution in finding a speech, and emotions in the way you felt about the challenge on what will I do with a winning speech. So all in all, I found a great speech that had wonderful opportunities for a voice with vocal variety and wonderful opportunities for emotions in role-playing dialogue. If you can bring them to life, you will become a better and greater speaker that I would truly like to focus on and get the opportunity to evaluate next time. With that, back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Peter. That was a lovely evaluation. And I
Yeah.
was thinking on the same lines, but I didn't know how to put it across in words.
Yeah,
So thank you so much for that. It
You're
helped me a lot.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you caught me a little bit off guard. But the point here is what? That what I did here, if you noticed, is I married two. I married voice and emotions. I could have said more, but you've gave me only 2 minutes. So I could have gone into how he presented his voice and how he could have varied his voice. I could have gone into how he set up the relationship with his son, where he turned one way and then he turned another way. So all that would come out in my speech evaluation, focusing on 2 things, voice and emotions. All right. Any final
Thank you so
questions,
much.
comments? Thank you. Any final questions or comments? All right. You can find all these things and more in my book if you're interested, and speak to Madam Toastmaster Dipti. We can have a future workshop where we can raise the bar and we can do a more advanced workshop. There are 3 stages workshops we can do. There's a much more advanced one and a further advanced one. But since everyone here was here tonight, you guys are already taking the first step. Right? So if we come together, let's say in the future, those people who come in and I say, we're going to focus on 2 areas, they're going to say, oh my God, that's too demanding. How are we going to do this? But you guys already know how to do it. All right. Okay, let me say a big thank you from the heart. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we had 2 hours that went by so quickly. We're in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Was it boring? Was it tiring? Did you fall asleep?
No.
All right.
We were with you.
There was
All
no
right.
chance, DTM Peter.
All right.
All of
I
us,
want to
all of them
thank
were on toes.
I want to thank everyone. I want to hand it back to our wonderful and lovely president for making it possible. Madam Toastmaster Dipti, the microphone is yours.
Thank you so much, DTM Peter. It was a wonderful session, and thanks to all the people who attended. It was an enriching experience, isn't it? We have been wearing gloves for a long time, especially during during COVID times. But did we know this way of looking at speeches? So yes, now we know whenever we see any glove, we'll remember this, and whenever we'll give an evaluation, we'll remember gloves. So I understand that we see in things what we want to see. So we have to train ourselves to see something, because otherwise things just come and they go, and we are not able to actually recognize or understand or make meaningful understanding of it. So yes, today we did that. Since we planned for emotion, we looked for emotion. We found it difficult because we have been using distraction as our method and not concentration. But I think today we have learned a lot, and we will have more sessions at Ain Toastmasters Club, because we look for our personal growth, self-development, both in professional and personal lives. And together we grow, together we learn. That is the motto of Toastmasters.
Madam Toastmaster Dipti, and quality. I think quality is a key word here. We need to end on quality.
Quality is the main thing, and we have learned how to add quality to a diluted evaluation or to any diluted thing. We'll add quality to our work, whatever we do. When we write, we'll be focused. When we speak, we'll be focused, because just as mentioned by one of our speakers, when we learn to evaluate, we also learn how to write a speech, because that is the thing what evaluators will look at us. So we will add quality, and yes, we have learned, we have taken first step. I'm sure there's long way to go. We have to go on adding more value to all our Toastmaster meetings and other work at personal end. So I'm thankful to DTM Peter. He's a very busy person. He's a public speaking coach and he's doing multiple things. I don't know how he manages his time. That can be another session someday for time management. But thank you so much to spare time for our club members and guests. We have learned a lot today and we want to see you again in future for more educational sessions. Thank you, DTM Peter. And for all the guests and members, I'm sure you have learned a lot. And getting knowledge, one thing, applying it is another. So now learning to apply all the different things we have learned today is what we have to do in this is our goal, eminent goal. So I'm thankful to everyone. And yes, please follow DTM Peter's Instagram handle. He has given there. If you're more interested in knowing more things about speech evaluation or how to write speeches, public speaking in general and in specific, follow. You can also take a look at the book. The book is a handbook of going from good speeches to great, good evaluations to great. So it's like stepwise improvement. We have taken the first step today and many more steps to follow. I'm really thankful to everyone to make it a success. All the attendees, thank you so much. So we will have a picture, a group picture. So I request all the people to please put your camera on. What is the point in hiding? As it is, we are hiding behind our computers. That is enough hiding. No more hiding.
Yes, I took the snap. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
Pete.
you. Good night.